clothes would be confiscated as well as shoes. And in return, flip-flops and used sweats would be given.
A physical intervention is an excuse for irritable staff to physically bully those they don't like. It was over-the-top excessive.
Devo is where you were sent to a small room and aggressively ordered to sit up straight without looking or communicating with others.
We were punished if our feet were visible outside the boundaries of the desk itself, and the consequence for this was more tortuous hours of Devo time.
If anyone did anything that suggested escaping, vaguely referenced suicide, or vaguely referenced violence, they would be sent to Devo on precaution for up to 30 days at a time.
I had no rights, wasn't allowed a phone call or visitation.
Stress positions, sleep deprivation, food deprivation, overexercise.
Months of solitary confinement.
Academy is a residential treatment center in Logan, Utah. It's not for criminals. Teenagers in the United States are being kidnapped, dragged from their beds in the dead of night, brainwashed, tortured, held in solitary confinement for weeks or months on end, sometimes sexually abused, and far too often allowed to die. Legally. Many kids have no way to even contact the outside world, and they don't even need to be charged with a crime or given a diagnosis. They have no right to an attorney, no right to appeal their sentence, no definite term to the sentence.
2 judges in Pennsylvania pled guilty to taking over $2.5 million in kickbacks for placing over 5,000 teens in private wilderness program and a juvenile detention center. They'd shut down the state-run juvie jail and were paid by the operators of the private programs for sentencing teenagers to incarceration there. They denied the teens access to attorneys at sentencing, so no questions would be asked. Kids were sent away for violations as minor as making a spoof web page mocking an assistant principal.
Children who do receive phone calls are monitored and punished severely for blaming the program.
Think of a situation in which people are told you can physically, mentally, and emotionally abuse other people in this group because you're doing them a favor.
It doesn't come from anything else, it just comes from being scared shitless.
These are kids, they are innocent despite their behavioral problems, and have been left with no other advocates. The only way to stop these atrocities hiding in the dark is to shine a massive spotlight on the U.S. troubled teen industry and its billion-dollar enterprise of cruelty. Teenagers that seem out of control are still human beings with an unalienable human right to dignity. Tell Logan River Academy to stop using their Devo techniques, that they are dangerous, unnecessary, and counterproductive to nurturing intact adults. Call them direct at 435-755-8400 to speak to someone now. Demand Governor Herbert force Logan River Academy to stop using isolation techniques. Call Logan Mayor Randy Watts at 435-716-9002 and demand investigation into possible abuse at Logan River Academy. By accrediting just the educational part of Logan River Academy's program, Advance ED is helping the entire facility seem credible, despite the fact that the residential program is not properly accredited to FTC guidelines. Demand that Advance ED revoke their accreditation until the facility stops using inhumane practices. We are anonymous. We are everywhere. We give voice to the voiceless. We are Legion. Tyrants of the world. Expect us.